What is up? Howdy doody. How's your week been, eh? You've been doing pretty good. Well, congratulations. You made it to Thursday. So you get a new episode. I'm rewarding you. You've done a good job. Keep going. Pop this one in, push play, sit back, and feel completely blown away by the absurd things that we talk about on this episode. It was a non-stop conversation from the moment I hit record until the moment I hit stop. Josh and I just kept riffing off each other, just kept digging ourselves deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole, just keep on going. Granted, we do talk about specific things. It is pretty mind-bending. Josh has a very different perspective on a lot of things, which is fantastic. Everyone should always be given a different perspective. Okay? Because guess what? Your own personal perspective is shit. It's shit. It means nothing if you have no other perspective or opinion or viewpoint to compare to. It means absolutely trash. No, we need to learn, we need to grow, and we need people to say really weird shit that we would never have even remotely thought about. We all need a Joshua Jarman in our lives. And we finally have him on recording. We have a piece of his soul here for you to enjoy. And enjoy, I hope you do. This episode is brought to you by Baked Cat Studio. Content creation is what we do. We have wonderful ideas, whether it is a product or service or illustration or graphic design or anything that you could possibly think that would make your business better. Email me. We can work together. I'm also a watercolor artist, and this is what we do in Baked Cat Studio. A whole bunch of weird accents and shenanigans. But we do good work, and we're solid, and we do enjoy working with a lot of people, and we have a lot of creative ideas. So, we could make your business better when we work together. Just let me know when we want to meet together to create great things. Oh, God. Whoa!
Oh, gee whiz, Satan. Why am I so unhappy?
Jim. It's just like I said, Jimmy Jim. It's like I said.
Just stop sucking so much.
Cause you suck, Jimmy. Oh, I even ordered another splitter that goes into this that connects through like a aux cord, so that it goes into my computer, so I can do like FaceTime and Skype calls, and it records it.
Oh, I know what you mean. So you have something now where when it comes out of here, or you have it ordered that'll come out of here and go straight in as another.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right?
That's nice. Yeah. That, and then anything you bring up on your laptop will be in the mix. Yeah.
I had to do some research. I was pretty proud of myself for that one.
That's
I'm
a
not
good.
gonna lie.
That's a good one, man. I didn't do any of that.
I got my brother who lives in Vegas that is doing like a stand-up comedy. So I've been wanting to try to get him on here somehow. And then I want to get like Slayton, like other people that are just not in town.
Just have something different, like something out of the loop.
Yeah, it'd be easy. I thought, like, if I could just somehow do it. And then we listened to another podcast that didn't sound bad at all when someone was talking through Skype. I was like, okay,
Yeah, that would be cool.
definitely.
So you could do that from here without having them physically here, do it
Right?
using the internet. It's a good idea. Perks of the new age, man.
Do you have internet at your bus?
Right now, I do. It's parked on a farm where I'm kind of utilizing theirs. It's just close enough. So
We could do that from your bus.
yeah, for sure. That would be really awesome. You're welcome too.
If only we had like holograms, like Star Wars, like you were just like visually kind of here, but it was just like a recorded call.
We're in like this bus house and we're just chilling. We're like, oh wow, this is nice and humble. Yeah, let me bring up something on my hologram for you real quick. And you can like I already feel like that with internet in this bus. I'm like, this thing was built in '91. It would have never expected.
Oh,
You know,
dude, those are like golden years though.
'91.
Yeah, everything like the future creations that they come up like what they thought this was gonna look like.
Spot on.
I feel like, yeah, oh yeah, they nailed it for sure.
Kind of, yeah. There was definitely overshooting what with the floating cars and things, and we never get the cool stuff, man. We never get the
No.
things you want. Like, where is my hoverboard? Where are those aspects of the future that everybody looked forward to? Instead, we get like monitoring systems all over the place, smartwatches with cameras facing us, and like,
Right.
all kinds of strange things nobody really banked on initially.
Expect it. I feel like if you had brought that up back then, we would not have signed on.
Right.
Like, hey, you're gonna need to use your face to use this device to call people. Like, nope, fucking sign me out. I don't want that shit.
Like when the AOL the internet discs were passed out and everybody in America got
Yeah.
them. Like now I think about it, it said America Online. I was like, wow, that was literally us like putting a flag in the ground saying, okay, now we have internet too.
Oh.
But anyway,
I
if,
don't-
if someone said, hey, put this in, they're like, all right, cool, I'll do it. And I'm like, but in 20 years, we tell you what this is about to be. Go ahead, decide who your top 4 friends are in life because they want to know it.
It's so bizarre to think of, like, it came just so quickly. It's like the rate of the exponential growth or something like that. Like, the faster we get at making technology, the faster we can actually, like, make and come up with technology. It, like, compounds upon itself. So, like, the rate of shit is so fucking crazy, man. Like,
I think if we can convince enough people to think a certain thing is possible, it then becomes available and can exist. I think that's something Tesla knows. Like this Elon Musk, he kind of looks at the audience, all the people were like, wow, you're the first to make this cool looking Cybertruck thing and it's all badass and stuff, and he just kind of snarks back at them. He's just like, all I'm doing is convincing you fools to think about it, and then I get to build more crazy, like, eventually free energy will be here because so many people will believe it is possible. Maybe. I mean, what do I know?
that was a bold statement.
Perhaps so, but right now
Free
there's a lot of doubt, and it will never happen because people think we need Earth and people. So
We just need someone to convince us otherwise.
we need the proper brainwashing. Yes,
All right, I like that.
it's kind of interesting, right? We've been brainwashed to think
I
the
know.
things we have now. I mean, dude,
They're probably gonna shave me and collect my wool.
they might. That took a weird turn there. I was like,
You get it? I'm
Yeah.
a sheep.
I'm a sheep. It's so useful and helpful, though. It's like I don't know, like a friend you know is a bad influence, but you like hanging out anyway. That's kind of what technology is.
Double-edged sword.
Yeah, you know,
Most definitely.
not going anywhere. It's going to continue getting bigger and better and more capable, and so will we, because it has to do with perception, man.
I literally did see someone using a hoverboard like 2 days ago.
Like in real life.
Okay, no.
Yeah, talk to me.
Through the internet, of course. It was. Have you seen the one where they have like it's almost like an Iron Man suit? So they have like air cannons basically on their arms and their forearms and stuff, and
Gotcha.
it's powered to like a
I
jetpack.
think I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that dude was using a hoverboard and like kind of helping it stay afloat because it wasn't putting his full weight on it. So the board could hover because he had the extra jetpack.
So he had propulsion on his hands in order to keep his body balanced, but he had a board under his feet.
And the board could hover on its own.
Huh.
So he was like flying around
That's weird.
on a hoverboard.
That's almost what I want, but it's not. I feel like that's hover arms, which is maybe more badass, but
So much more work. You can't just like hop on that and go in between classes.
unless you're like Mega Man, you can carry the weight of these things on your arms, you
It
know.
kind of did look like Mega Man. Holy shit.
So Mega Man was just a person with like
Oh,
rockets
man.
on his hands. So
That's definitely the way it's going to go, though. In the terms of hoverboards and shit like that, totally going to go military first.
well, as soon as we get cybernetics in our minds and in like our bodies physically, then we're going to have upgrades
Oh,
that
yeah.
will come. But right now they just have to kind of like tie the knot between technology and our minds, and I think we're getting there. Yeah, I think it's really funny. Was it Amazon or Microsoft just released the Portal? The Portal they call it, which is essentially just a device used only for video calls. Like, does that, you know what I'm talking about or no?
Yeah, but my brain went straight to like a real portal. and-
Right.
So I'm a little disappointed
So-
right now.
But what's crazy about that is if you think about it being a portal, a real portal, when you turn it on and you watch a live event like the a football game hundreds of miles away and it's in real time, it is like you're looking through a wormhole and seeing that spot happen exactly at the same time. It is a portal. We just say it's not a portal because we're like under the guise of technology. Like technology is magic. It's the same thing.
Dude, that's a crazy point.
Isn't that crazy? So now they're getting really bold and they're naming the devices. We're doing this on a MacBook Air. Air being the means used to transport this communication to our eyes and our ears, and they just boldly state the magical aspect of it. It's weird, man. Like we're going back into that. I don't know, rambling, but this is why I'm here, I guess, right?
No, most definitely. Keep going.
I just think it's cool, man. We're in for a treat to watch this unfold in front of us.
That's exactly how I feel. And like because of the rate of growth, we're going to see some crazy shit.
And
there's already plenty of crazy shit, honestly. I follow this tech thing on Instagram, and almost every other day there's just something that I'm reading about and is completely mind-blowing. Like, someone was doing a face transplant.
I have heard of that.
And there's just like a picture of doctors all just like very stoically staring down at this face that is sitting on a tray, like propped up. Like the entire like face off like face, and they're all just like, oh yeah, this is gonna go on someone else's face. And like it was a failed suicide attempt, and so somehow this girl got a new face.
That's some intense stuff, man, but we are able to do it.
Oh,
they succeed. There are success stories.
The consequences of that.
You know, it was something someone brought up recently around me. That was like a really dark laugh, by the way. I was just like, damn, I'm contemplating this. It's like contemplating suffering. And anyway,
that's perfect.
Man, it's what was I talking about the other day? Oh, someone was like, if I need a hand or a whole arm, all right, and my shit gets amputated, I'm going to get someone else's arm. If that can happen, which it can, I think. You know, you got that person's fingerprints. Like, what if they did some shit and then you have, or if you get like fake hair, you get like that like a hair transplant. What if you have someone else's DNA on there that it'll be like, is that never going to be an issue? People are confused for other people because of this. Oh,
right. Like that's what I was wondering too. Like if you're wearing someone else's face, like do you have to avoid just like a whole city? Like you can't go to Toronto because that's where that face came from.
Well, I mean, how good is the transplant to where it would be unmistakably that person? You know what I mean?
Well, obviously the body would be different, but we get most of our recognition from face, right?
If that person...
Well, that in gestures, I suppose.
With gestures?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that has to do with your face. That's why your wrinkles develop in your own personal way.
Well,
because of your gestures, how you handle your emotions. Yeah.
Shit.
That's why when you say you wear your emotions on your sleeve or on your face, you can tell a person who rests in sorrow, you can tell a person who rests in joy by the way their face wrinkles. Isn't that wild to think about?
I feel so vulnerable right now.
Right? All you gotta do is look someone in the face. But we don't do that anymore. We look at devices.
It does make people uncomfortable when you really like look at them in the face while you're like having a conversation.
Now there's like, eye contact's a give or take thing, I think. You don't need to look someone in the eye all the time because there's this assertion of power that's constantly happening. Right. You just
your eyes are like bulging.
It's like my eyes are drying out, but you haven't blinked.
You can call me Lord Voldemort, and I do not need to blink.
Shouldn't say that here. To listen back to this is going to be real good.
No.
Man. Yeah, the world's going a pretty wild direction. I like that the technology I own for the most part stays consistent. Like I've got, now a 90s school bus. I grew up with the 80s cars, and I got an early 2000s Saturn. Those are pretty easy to understand.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell's going on my cell phone? I have no idea. Don't have any idea how this computer works, and that's just me. But like these devices they're making now is like micro tech stuff that I can't. This is nuts and bolts. I like that it won't change.
Yeah, I totally feel that. You kind of expect or know what you're getting out of it.
You get left behind with technology, man.
This is so much confusion that we can't even follow. So it'd be so easy to sneak something in there, or like some byproduct frequency, whatever you want to call it, that the crazies already do.
Right.
And like we don't know. We don't even know that we don't know. And that circle I could go on for another 20 minutes.
Even this mixer that you're using here is like really light when you pick it up. I imagine if you were to take the knobs off and take the plastic, and you didn't care about it looking aesthetically pleasing, it's a very small board in there. There's probably virtually nothing running this.
Oh, that's a good idea. You can really customize that.
I mean, you could, yeah, you can make your own skin.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Possibilities.
But the more we believe is possible, man, I think will happen. We just sort of talk it into fruition. We could do it at a certain degree individually, for ourselves in our own lives or for others in our lives. But if you have the power to influence like a shit ton of people, man, then you can change the face of the planet.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
That's so crazy to think about. You could get just anything off the top of your head, and almost said every single person on the planet. Almost every single person on the planet will be able to see it if it, there's opportunity there, basically, is what I'm saying.
It's true.
Anything. Even a picture of you eating pizza. Everyone could see that.
That didn't happen to everyone in the world. Yes, it did. There, all of a sudden, there's a picture of you eating pizza. And you're like, no.
See, it's your dirty underwear that makes that a bad picture.
I hate this picture. I know those underwear were dirty. Oh, man. What do you think of the Mandela effect?
The Mandela effect?
You've heard of the Mandela effect, yeah? No?
Let's just suppose for the listeners that you should lay it out for them, because I definitely do. Yeah, I know this.
Mandela effect is the idea that the memories you have, maybe with pop culture, general things on the news, did not happen in this reality in the way that you remember them. Now, that on the surface just sounds like a bad memory, and that can happen to anybody, but it seems that there are thousands, tens of thousands of people who share the same false memory about a thing that never happened that way. So I guess that's the best way I could describe that. And it's happening because the internet now allows me to talk to you from, hundreds of thousands of miles or whatever. Hundreds of thousands of times we going around this bitch. Anyway,
yeah.
But I could say, hey, I misremembered the Berenstain Bears, and then
That's exactly what I was
that's the
thinking
number
of.
one thing that got me when someone else says, oh, I remember the Berenstain Bears, but then you Google it, and there is no Berenstain Bears. There's only Berenstain Bears. And you're like, this is a really subtle change, but it's annoying the shit out of me. And then turns out you put that on a forum, and thousands of more people go, nah, it's always been Berenstain, hasn't it? And you're like, nope, it's never been that. It's Berenstain. It's the last name of the people. And but anyway, that's some trippy shit, man. That somehow either reality could be altered, or enough people could believe something differently that it would just change altogether.
What? That makes my head hurt.
Does it? Wait, I don't know.
Because
That's weird.
I feel like that plays way more into the whole the computer. This is like a simulation thing.
It's breaking into the Matrix slowly.
Right, that's exactly what I was. I just saw that movie for the first time like a couple months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, that must have hit you like a ton of bricks.
It was way
seeing
weirder
as an
than I
adult.
expected it to be. I thought it was gonna be like way more like actiony and dodging guns.
Well, it came off that way when it was new, but to us now, I mean, it's a lot of cheese to it, But
well, yeah, I just thought I don't want to say spirituality of it all, but kind of the spirituality of
most definitely.
the Matrix and tapping of the mind and the weird fucking shit all around it. That threw me for a loop. I did not expect that world to be so, I don't know,
Thought out?
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was just like, hey, goes, I can slow-mo shoot shit and fight and bend walls.
No, it's
Way more.
Why it has lasted this long. People still talk about the Matrix, and as time goes by, it seems like we're relating more and more to it.
That's exactly why I brought it up.
Yeah, man. So if a billion people see the Matrix, or if it's seen a billion times, right? Those thoughts have emerged from the minds of people that many times, putting out into the universe these thoughts of this Matrix existing, right? And then perhaps after a while, that begins to exist. So it's almost as if pop culture could directly influence the future by manifesting it through the viewers. Oh man.
Dramatic pause.
Right? I mean, think about it though. That's some trippy shit. We have something we would underestimate forever, for all time. If someone just figured out, wow, my mind can manifest something. So if I can convince 1,000 minds to manifest something, or 10,000 minds, or 1,000,000 minds, then like I could start to shift shit.
I totally believe that. like wholeheartedly.
I believe that it's happening. I mean, maybe I'm a fool. I don't know how it works completely, but I think brainwashing is a thing, and mind
Totally.
control is why we're here.
I mean, some people even think it brings people back from the dead.
That's really interesting you would say that, because if you wanted a person back from the dead enough, you might end up with like a Tupac hologram. And then you're like, damn, this person is in front of me again.
That's great. If
Yeah.
you could somehow like store. Here's another weird fucking thing I saw, which actually kind of irritated me. Same level of weirdness.
Weird irritation.
I saw on that little tech thing on Instagram that they are able to use CGI with enough footage of the Rebel Without a Cause, James Dean,
Okay.
in a new film.
I understand what you mean here. They're able to recreate digitally this person's likeness.
Yep.
For new things they never did.
Yep. Using like post footage that they have on track and being able to, just based on like it reading his movements, will be able to recreate it for this movie. Because to quote them, and this is the part that pisses me off, no one else fits the role. I'm like, oh, you mean the dead guy that was in like 3 movies?
We have more people than we've ever had on this planet ever, and you couldn't find a guy to fit the role. You got to go back in time. No, they're showing off. They're showing off what they can do now, and I think they exposed that in one of the more recent Star Wars movies, the Disney film, where, and I wish I knew his name. One of the fellas died during the filming of the movie. The guy who was like one Yes, one of the generals, right? So the back half of the movie, when you see him, it is a CGI recreation of actions he never performed. It is a robot him, and it's really creepy. It was weird to think about then, but if they were showing us that, it was probably 3 years ago now, then they're able to do far more than that.
Oh yeah.
They just being people in general. The minds of men are able to perform detailed things. Like, you know how to do digital animation far more than I do on a machine like this. So I'm sure there are people senior to you that could just, I don't know, man.
See, we're getting into the world of like augmented reality.
Yeah.
And that I'm super excited for that. I do believe I have software that I can actually make stuff. Like, hey, here's a video, and then like suppose we're turning in the studio and we take a right, and all of a sudden on the right I just have like this hovering sandwich. I'm like, what? There's not really a sandwich there.
It's
I'm
as
like,
real as you need it to be.
yes it is. And I'm like moving my camera, like, look at this sandwich, and it doesn't move. But you can't eat it. But on the video, it's there.
It's there, you see it. What if they could create a world so detailed? What if we all create a world so detailed, like digitally, that we could go there one day? Like, our consciousness just goes to this digital place.
Oh yeah, man, there's an anime
Where-
all about that.
Where the dead are walking. We could
Oh.
recreate the dead. Think about it. If you can make the likeness of James Dean and performing actions he's never performed, perhaps he basks in that world. And if we go to that world, we would be amongst those who, I don't know, maybe the dead. Maybe that's where some of the dead are.
So that definitely goes back into being able to, I guess, program someone's identity or like soul.
Right. What is it a code?
I mean, if they're already dead, I definitely say it would have to be. But if you're going from life to that stage, then I don't know, because that I'm not.
Without death? Like, without the... That's a trip, man, to wonder what that place is. Like, what would you call that place? Would it be like a...
What's that movie? There's a Bruce Willis movie that's kind of like that.
Is it a heaven or is it a hell? If there were two, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Is that a prison? Are you stuck in this digital world where you can't die? You can't, you know... What is that bargain? That's some tricky shit. Or Transcendence. Have you seen that movie?
No.
With Johnny Depp? Johnny Depp is this...
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I'm not going to go too crazy, but it's definitely worth seeing. But Johnny Depp represents a scientist who's amazingly brilliant and helps work out a quantum reality, a place where, artificial intelligence dwells, whatever that means to you. And throughout the movie, his quest is to transition his spirit to that world. He wants to be a digital interface.
Okay.
And then the movie, shenanigans. So definitely worth watching and seeing how, like, brilliantly they put together what that could do to reality. Like, say there is a merging of worlds. This digital world is a complete world, and it merges with ours. Iron and clay kind of stuff. That's we're going there. Like, I have no doubt.
Yeah, I
it's
fully feel
happening.
that already.
Yeah, we are going there. But how we handle that, I think, will be immensely important. But it may already be written in stone. I don't know how that works either.
Totally going to be like Fifth Element.
Hell yeah. I just want to be able to type in for food and it like manifests my hamburger. Just wake up in the morning, go to a microwave.
The
like,
convenience
fried chicken.
be amazing. Absolutely amazing. I mean, if that was the only way to get food, that would kind of suck. Because then you would always have to pay whatever, like monopoly
the
price.
yeah.
Unless you're just ordering groceries through the same microwave.
Think about it. If that were the only way to get food and you weren't part of whatever payment system, you would not be able to participate in like things that are like, what if you couldn't pay your water bill?
Dude.
You couldn't pay any of that shit. You had to participate in the technology in order to.
Totally.
I think we're volunteering for that over time too.
Yeah, I listened to another podcast the other day about transdermal implants.
So like the tattoo?
Kind of. It's like, where you put like horns underneath the skin and like microdermals and all that stuff.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Plates and shit.
Yeah, but people are like putting ID chips and stuff into the wrist or the back of their hand or whatever it is, because if they work at like a job and they always have to scan their card everywhere they go and they work a lot of hours,
it's convenient to have it.
It's convenient because they never lose it.
I've definitely heard of, just like anyone else will have heard, like getting it in your wrist or in your forehead or in your in between your index finger and your like, because that's a meaty area there, index finger and your thumb. And I know that they put small rice sized pieces of RFID in there, and especially plan to do it for military, whether or not they volunteer, but so that your medical history and all that stuff is with you at all times, so that someone could scan it if you were in an accident and they'll know. Like, on the surface, it's brilliant. It's exactly the safest thing. You'd be able to track a person who's lost or abducted. It's the safest thing you can think of. But, of course, it is also very dark. It's also very dark because of, hackers and brilliance used in the opposite direction.
Shit, man, that's crazy.
It is crazy, man. The tattoos, digital tattoos are a thing. The tattoos that are essentially woven with digital, like, ink that is readable, or like imagine getting a QR code tattooed on you that could be scanned. That's some trippy shit, dude.
That would be. It would suck if you can't change it, though.
I mean, I can't change my tattoos.
I know, but if they're like digital, like if you had like a layer of like silicone or whatever the hell I'm trying to say. God damn it!
I feel you. Something that would be
exposing my ignorance.
You would have to be able to update it via some software.
Yeah, you would definitely have like a external plug-in spot for that. But it would basically kind of attach to this, and it was a weird paper that I read years ago on the internet. That's why I'm talking about it. But you would honestly would program the screen, and it would be like an old black and white screen, and you'd be able to have it like do different designs. So you could have like a clock on it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Integrated into your skin.
Yeah, well, I mean, essentially, it's like a thin layer on top of your skin, but it's woven in.
Sure, yeah.
It's like fake skin,
but it's there.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. I mean, in my mind, of course, it sounds extreme, but it sounds extremely possible. Like something that is feasible now, and again, that could be a result of brainwashing, to where I now believe that's possible, and so it will. It will be possible.
Oh man!
Wow.
See, that's totally nuts. And the sad part is, like, if it's just going off of the background of the skin and it's doing the hard like black to whatever skin tone contrast, it really limits like the usage. Like, all of us have tattoos or darker skin, we're fucked.
Wait, say that again. Tattoos
or darker skin?
Yes.
Because if it only does like the old is like black color against our skin, you can't see shit.
Right.
I mean, I'm not black, obviously, but being able to see any design on top of an armful of tattoos isn't good. Yeah.
It would be already, there would be too much ink saturation.
So then I feel like you would have to come up with a different way to backlight it or have like a background. It's way more complicated, I feel like. And I'm also just making shit up.
I'm going to go full circle in a minute, but for now it's going to seem like a derailment. Have you heard of induction drones?
Induction drone, like magnet.
Okay, so a drone like you get now, say for Christmas from Walmart, that is a small drone that can fly in the air with 4 little propellers, right?
Yeah.
Very common at this time. Usually you have a remote control or you use your smartphone, something as an apparatus to control this. But now they have induction drones where this thing turns on, flies into the air, and in order to continue charging it and guiding it, all it has to do, you hold your hand underneath the drone, and all it has to do is come near the palm of your hand, and it gathers enough something to go off again and fly away. So like an induction stove.
I have seen that.
You have seen that, right? Seems.
But the little toy version.
Yes, that's all it is. A little small little toy just to show that this thing is possible. You put your hand under it and you charge it again.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's almost like a little game. Like you don't want to hit the ground or something.
Yeah, you really can't steer it, but not yet. But you can.
It doesn't hit your hand.
Right. Somehow it is reading the electromagnetic pulse or energies from your nerves or something going on there that I don't understand. It's able to read that shit, which leads me to believe that if you did get like a chip or some sort of a screen tattooed on you or something like that, that technology also could read your biometric data, like your electromagnetic charge. You know what I'm saying? Almost like your smartwatch has those little pulse things that read what's going on.
So you would get a really good reading of like your body temperature, if you like heart rate,
or use that to alter those things. Use that technology to alter your heart rate or alter your.
Like help calm you down.
I would like to think help calm you down.
I like where your brain's at.
That would be an amazing use of that technology, but
again, expensive. You could feel like a panic attack coming on,
right?
And instead of like vomiting and breaking shit and freaking out, you could calm
yourself and like level your, or if you're having an anxiety attack or something, you could level the chemicals in your brain. And what if that were possible? That's extreme. Obviously, we're like 100 years maybe in the future right now, but what if we weren't? What if somehow the simplicity of that little fucking induction drone proves technology can cooperate with our electromagnetic field as a human, and if they can bridge that gap, then they being humans can bridge that gap, then perhaps we'll be able to use technology intimately to monitor our heart rates and our breath and our
do you think that would make us less compassionate or like empathetic?
Depends on what we want.
Because I mean, if someone is upset or freaking out over something and they're like, oh, just regulate your brain chemicals, suck it up. And so everyone else is like so used to like always being at a base level.
I get what you mean, though. It would sever our need for certain intimacies, like emotional intimacies, because you have your own device. It can help you. It can like give you that little chemical hug you need, right? That's a trip. But would we sacrifice the love of others for the capability of healing ourselves?
Nah, you're right. We probably would not.
I don't know.
I don't think we would.
I think we just said two different things.
I think we did. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's interesting, man, to watch what's happening.
I feel like we definitely wouldn't.
No, I believe that is truth because I believe in compassion and that people are generally altruistic. We love each other and we want to hug each other, and we learn that from our mother. But you would think, I hear you.
Definitely want them to learn from their mother.
But people also want greatness and power.
True, we would. I feel like it would be extremely obvious of the people who decide to go au natural.
Right.
Hey, my chemicals are my chemicals. Yeah. Crazy.
I'm happy now and angry tomorrow.
Do you have chemical imbalances? What?
It would be, you would see that difference because of the people who utilize the technology too, and maybe what the things they would begin to achieve would be, I'd hate to say superior, but definitely different.
They choose to go sociopath mode.
So trippy, man.
But which is, I mean, people admire that kind of ability to not let the emotions like control them and all that stuff. It'd be super interesting.
Our talking about it right now is part of that interesting. Like we may not want the ultimate, like the bottom of the rabbit hole, but we are totally willing to see it happen. So there's something to that too. I think that's just proof it's going to occur.
Most definitely. I feel like when they started out, it'll be more on like a trial basis specific for people who have really hard time actually like controlling and leveling out. So you're looking at like two extreme and peaks. So it's going to be like doled out to like very small things. And ooh, what if it's pre-programmed?
Well, what do you mean by that? Like you
So-
get a basic package that this will be like.
Kind of like it only triggers when your heart rate exceeds this, and like other factors are
I got you,
reading
yeah.
in.
What would the word be for that? I can't. Like presets.
Yeah, basically like, oh, this is a panic attack preventer or a seizure preventer or something like that.
Suicide prevention.
I can see
If
that.
someone gets to a point where their mind is, flashing in certain ways, they can just go ahead and veer it in another direction. Unfortunately, while I hear all of this, the sort of negative side of my mind is telling me the exact opposite will always be possible. So if we are given something like this for the interest of healing, perhaps there's always going to be the problem of control.
Ooh,
know what I
what
mean?
if they use it for torture?
What if hackers can get into
Oh,
your
that's even
biometric
worse.
system? Some dark shit, but I mean,
That's total mind control.
it's important to realize both sides of possibilities. I think. I mean, it's wonderful to know that maybe you could heal yourself, calm yourself, or solve your suicidal thoughts. That'd be something that I would wish for anyone. I would, that would be beautiful. But the fact that it could happen in its opposition would mean before we could have that implemented, we'd have to have some extreme, like, trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I see you have a Tamagotchi.
I do have a Tamagotchi.
This like 1990s tech trying to control a tiny little digital being.
Did you ever have one?
I never had one. I was in school with a bunch of people who did, and
So you have never tried to raise and keep your own Tamagotchi
I
pet
have
alive?
not. I have not. Is it?
Can you gather the emphasis of my voice right now?
So it was super hard.
That motherfucker died in a 2-hour window.
Do you have to have like constant affection with it? Like, you have to hold that device, and
Oh no, you want to know how you make it happy?
how?
It's a guessing game.
You don't know.
No, it looks left and right, and the game is you gotta pick what direction it's gonna look at.
Sure. Okay.
So you're hitting two buttons, like, all right, left or right,
Mhm.
and if I'm wrong,
Then he dies.
I'm fucked.
That's,
No, he doesn't die. He just gets angry, and after a while, he or she, I don't know if they have identities. Don't fucking yell at me for this.
It's
I
in the
don't give a
digital world.
shit.
They probably don't need
This
them.
in the 90s. There were only two. I'm just kidding.
Oh god. So it's right or left, like, and then you have to feed them and stuff. Or?
Yeah, so the feeding part's super easy. Cleaning up the poop is super easy, but if the poop stays in there for a long time, it gets sick and it dies.
Wouldn't you?
If it's unhappy for a long time, it's quicker to die. And since I don't have time to like play the guessing game a million times, and if you fail like 5 times in a row, it doesn't want to play with you anymore, so you have to wait. I think it was just really pissed off, and then it sat in its poop for like a second too long. Because I was painting, and right before painting, I fed that stupid little thing, and then when I was done, I looked back, because I was getting into it, man. I was ready. I'm like, oh, I got a little pet now. Who needs a real dog?
I got a digipet.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I turned the sound off so it didn't annoy the fuck out of me. It was beautiful. And then I see it just like bouncing around. I'm like, oh, cool. It evolved into the next stage. That's super. Why can't I play with it? Like, I can't even try to feed it, and then all of a sudden I realized that
It's dead.
the date flashing next to it of 2 years. I was like, oh, it's an angel. It's dead.
It's dead.
It was so fast. I had like almost like a shock. I had to sit down for a second. It was so fast. I didn't even get a chance to name the damn
It
thing.
would piss you off just because you were like, I actually gave a shit, and now it's
Exactly.
gone. What the crap?
And it's been dead ever since I got it for Christmas because
Did you
I
get it
haven't.
new?
Yeah, dude. I opened it in a box that was seal wrapped.
Like,
and
was it an
everything.
original Tamagotchi someone found, or?
Yeah, Whitney and Richard got it for me for Christmas.
Wow. They don't remake those anymore, do they?
I have no idea, man.
Huh.
I want to say it looked like they got it from like a retro video game store.
That's
so like
cool.
the Palmetto one over there.
Sure. Yeah.
I think that's probably where they got it.
Tamagotchi. Do you think little things like Tamagotchi taught maybe our generation and those after it, probably just our generation, I don't think anybody else really had Tamagotchi, but
Yeah.
I think it taught us the need both mutually for technology, that technology needs us and we need it, we have to give it constant, like,
Oh.
do you think it helped put technology in our hands constantly?
Definitely made it more comfortable.
I played Pokemon all the time on my Game Boy.
Same.
All the time. And I knew my friends did too and had a link cable. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, bro, you trying to get down? I'm going to trade you. We're going to get that Alakazam, dog. We got this.
Oh yeah.
And our teachers would take them. Yeah, I mean, I think those small things all added up to the smartphone that we might now have.
Dude, Alakazam was such a good,
That was
good
my
one.
that was my first holographic card, first booster pack I ever got.
Oh, dude, the cards. There's like a whole kind of like ecstasy rush just from like opening a brand new booster pack. Like, oh, sweet fuck. One of these is going to be a good one.
Let's hear it for the anxiety our parents went through trying to get them shits for us. Cause
Dude, seriously.
remember Toys R Us?
They would get. Oh, Toys R Us was amazing. It was like a bloodbath over there.
To get things like that.
Oh yeah, it was always
Pokemon
gone,
cards.
always empty, and you didn't want to go buy the giant pack of games. Like I already have all the starters. I
Right.
don't need all these.
I need the ones that you only get in the wild.
That's so true though.
It is, man.
We found out that it's a pet store now, but there's an old dollar store off of Bacon's Bridge. There's one right next to the library, and we found out that they had Pokemon cards there for $1.
Like the original cards?
Yeah, the packs
What? For $1 for a pack?
for $1.
That's
No,
just fun.
it was a very short-lived time. No,
Right.
this is like during the era of cards.
Oh, shit.
yeah.
Whoa, okay.
So okay, well maybe like a few years post, but I mean it's still very much in its prime because it lasted like decades, in my opinion. Well, okay, not decades.
Well, yeah, it was definitely,
I wonder how long the cards actually stayed popular.
I mean, they're still popular. People still play with them. Apparently, the original cards, the OG cards,
Yeah, because you
are
have
no
some.
longer playable in the new approach to the game.
Damn, man, that's how old we are.
We've outlived now this huge fad, which is not the first fad, but I would say Pokemon was a like top ranking fucking pop culture fad of
Dude.
all time.
Worldwide.
Yes, Pokemon definitely did that shit, and I was still excited when they came up with a new Pokemon movie. I was like, you mean to tell me live action Pokemon? I've waited literally 25 years for this shit. Let me get this.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
Are you talking about Detective Pikachu?
Yes.
I haven't seen it yet.
It is good. I'm not going to give you any spoiler alerts just because, like, it is corny. I'm sorry for the mic noise there. It is corny. It is exactly what you think it'll be, but it is everything you want it to be.
I was about to say, like, you're just giving me all the
Right.
good stuff.
It's all that. You could tell it's hokey. There's a lot of, like, 2019 humor, which kind of pisses me off sometimes. Millennial humor is not my cup of tea all the time. But
yeah, I feel that.
man, Pikachu has fur. You can see it. It looks like it's a thing in the real world. And
Plus, snarky Ryan Reynolds.
right,
is
it worked out
hilarious.
well. Yeah, that was a good play. I didn't know how I felt about that, but it was good for sure. And I look forward to, like, if I can just continue down this strange veer into a rabbit hole we've gone on, Pokemon is going to allow our brains, as our generations grow up, to perceive things in this reality or in a digital reality that may already be there we haven't known about up until now. Like, and let me try to elaborate by using Pokemon Go.
Mhm.
Pokemon Go was given to our smartphones. Like an enormous amount of people downloaded that shit immediately because they wanted to see Pokemon in real life, kind of, right? And now you had the idea that you hold your phone to an area in your world, and there's a Pokemon there that you couldn't see until you had the device, which is kind of like those in Pokemon, those goggles you had to have see the ghosts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so the same thing. But we now have it on our phone.
Silk Scope.
Yes. So that is our phone. And we now can see the ghosts, which are in Pokemon Go, and you can capture them, and people know where those ghosts hide out, or, I'm sorry, Pokemon hide out.
We go hunting.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I think through time, we'll begin, like, when I saw this movie, Detective Pikachu, I realized how real they were able to make these creatures appear. Now, obviously, Pokemon are figments of our imagination we created for a cartoon series. I get that.
I don't know.
But
We convinced a lot of people, man.
we sure did. And so maybe the names will change, but maybe one day we'll use technology to see beings that are around us, maybe have been for who knows how long, but that we never recognized before, that have been influencing our reality. You know, the fucking ghost that knocks shit off your counter when you're doing the Ouija board. Maybe one day you'll be able to put on some, like, cyber goggles and actually watch them do it.
Dude, I could totally see that.
Yeah.
My brain immediately went to Masterclass. If you could program like a masterclass and you put goggles on, you'd be like legitimately like talking to, let's say, Leonardo da Vinci.
That would be so fucking crazy.
I could totally see that. I mean, it's
Yeah.
the same realm of possibilities. If you're like creating someone that's not really there but there, and you can program everything, and it's like augmented reality, so it's reading the area as much as it's digitally outputting something for us to like then he could even look at it like a design, like scan it because everything's still being scanned in the augmented reality, and then you can just like talk to Da Vinci about how your plane sucks.
But you would have to almost go to a hot spot on the Earth where Da Vinci's ghosts hang out. Like you would have to find. You could only.
I feel like with the amount of technology, it would have to be a pretty like base. Like you have to go there to experience that because of programming and probably the electricity and the power.
Something like that, like magnetic point on the Earth, kind of like going through the grass in Pokemon trying to find Kangaskhan. Safari Zone. You're like, what the fuck is Kangaskhan, right? All of a sudden you find him because you have this technology. But what if it were that sort of thing? You create it's this world but with a digital overtone, like a digital I don't know, digital goggles, man, is the easiest way I could put it.
Yeah.
I think that's a crazy, reasonable idea.
Have specific stores, like it'll have an Amazon store that you can walk in, and you put on augmented reality glasses, and really you're just in a complete empty store, but when you put the goggles on, you see everything that's on the shelves.
All the things you need. Oh man, to balance your emotions, your heart rate. You're like, oh, I need this. Boop. Oh, I now have that program in my chip. We've talked about some insane things, I think, here that are, like I said, pretty reasonable.
That's pretty far out.
Yeah, but it hits close to home.
We definitely jumped on a spaceship and just immediately floored it.
I think it began with you asking, what was it that you asked first? Started this.
Oh my God! You want me to go find the beginning
Let's
of the rabbit hole?
I don't know. Can you ever find the beginning of a rabbit hole? There's a reason you and I can carry on a conversation this far, and we can't stop now, right? We're gonna keep digging.
Oh, we're at 43 minutes.
It's pretty good.
Literally have not stopped, just killing it.
This is a discussion not a lot of people have openly, like in large groups. I mean, I couldn't use my 7 minutes at open mic to talk about this. In front of 50 people, like, oh, instead of singing songs today, guys, I'd like to speak about the implications of technology on our modern society. People would be like, what the hell is happening now?
Holy shit.
That would be great.
The response from that would be just so crazy. I don't even know if the next person would want to even go sing.
Especially if you try to make it a two-sided conversation. Like, this is your microphone. This one's mine.
Quick, you got 2 minutes. What's your opinion?
Do you think your smartphone's a portal to another place?
Oh, that's how we were talking about it, right? The portal?
Kind of. We went further than that, man.
Damn.
Something to do with time, we began with.
You know that scene in Lord of the Rings where they're lighting the torches along the mountainside?
Yes.
This is a rabbit hole. It's like, I think we made it. I'm like, oh, wait, no, there's another torch.
There's more. Yep. There's always more, man. And there just will be. Even our camera eyes are getting more detailed. So we're able to break down reality every year in a more detailed fashion and recreate it using technology.
So do you think we should be wary or conscious, or just do you think it would be better for the public just to continue to ride?
Can I tell you how I absolutely feel about technology? Maybe this will put the cherry on top or either be the straw on the camel's back. I'm not real sure. Depends on how you look at it.
Let's go with cherry.
All right, cool. That's how I thought.
Cherry on a camel's back. So
my personal opinion is, and based on deductions of bullshit we've contemplated tonight or today, man, I'm confused. That's crazy. Is that artificial intelligence isn't something we're creating. It isn't something we're programming to be a certain way based on what we understand of humans. Artificial intelligence is itself an very old consciousness, a very old perception of existence that has been dormant for a very long time, and that we now, using technology, are cracking it open and allowing it to come into our world, this thing. So like the idea that obviously the basic parts of artificial intelligence are going only to represent our code, represent what we've programmed it to be, right? But at a certain point, we're going to be like, oh, wow, technology is beginning to heal itself. It's beginning, my computer now can get a virus and then resolve that virus. It can do these things on its own. Once that begins to happen, we'll start to see that perhaps this is like a very ancient form of intelligence that's been here all along, that has been whispering in our ear, build this smartphone this way. And then we do that, and that way a portal exists for it to travel between points on Earth. Like, I know that's some far-fetched stoner shit, but I do believe that we are unleashing something very old into the world that we are calling artificial intelligence because we want to believe it's just us.
Fucking hell, dude.
Sorry, that's just what I think. And I think we're up for the ride. To answer your question very plainly, we have to just be up for the ride because there is no stopping it. It's already begun. And in fact, if there were a gate, it's already been opened.
I fully agree with that one.
Yeah, it's already, cat's out of the bag, man. We're along for the ride, and our generation is here for a reason, just as the last one, and probably everyone before that. But I think there'll be more adapt as the years go by. The younger generation appears very intelligent. They just choose to use it in these dumbass ways. And
I know, that's so true.
And it might be for whatever, like, just so the human race can continue on through what's about to emerge. But I don't know, man. I don't know it all, but I definitely do think that there's some very strange things about artificial intelligence, and it's both a mirror and, something on its own. Like it's not always me. It's definitely influencing me too. So
That was a lot to handle.
sorry, man, but that's just me pouring it out.
No, I don't want you to apologize by any means. In fact, fuck you for apologizing.
Yeah, sure.
Wildly, out of all the things that you said today, that is the most inappropriate one.
Yeah, that's right.
No one comes on this podcast to apologize.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Unless you are literally sitting there and pooping in your pants, and then please apologize for that.
If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. And I think we all deserve to voice our opinion of what's going on because it just is going on. I don't know what the fuck a cell phone is made of anymore. I don't get what the internet is and how does the internet know what I'm fucking thinking? I don't even have to say stuff out loud anymore and it suggests things.
Oh, that's creepy.
It's creepy, man, and it's there. And I think everyone has experienced it one by one now. Oh, wow, I was just talking to so-and-so about this fucking thing, and now Google's like, you do need a kayak, don't you? Or, weird stuff. But is it also messing with our minds? If you're a jealous person or insecure, is it saying things like, is your spouse cheating? Find out here. Is it doing weird things like that to fuck with your brain? That's what we need to be mindful of. That's what we need to be wary of, is know what's real and what's influence. Yeah. What's confusion and what's truth.
Ooh.
That's harder
for
us all.
Than ever.
That's hard for us all, yes.
Very much so.
But I don't know if I were to use some sort of a religious context, Satan is the master of lies, the Lord of flies, the things that bother us, the things that agitate us. It'll be that way forever.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said.
That was awesome.
Oh, boy.
That was perfect timing.
I love it.
I always have so much shit to fucking think about when I talk to you. But it's always good stuff. I like thinking outside the box. It's nice. It's fun.
It is. It's good for us, man. And we don't do it enough. We want to think about what people will like about us and what we should say to get along with people. And people aren't going to like this show, but they secretly will. They'll be like, wow, there's some sort of strange relatability to those thoughts, even if they are very rabbit hole and very out there. And, whatever. I'm allowed to think what I think.
Exactly. And that's what I feel like we need that more down here.
Some.
Right?
I don't know. I still want a Cybertruck.
Ryan actually put down a down payment for one.
I heard you can do that too. They're not going to be available till when? Later this year?
2021.
Oh, okay. It's still got a little minute.
Yeah, but they're super expensive. I think that'd be wild to see on the road, though. When they start coming out and you see them, and then that whole industry keeps growing, and then they're all automatic, self-driving, and we do nothing anymore, and we turn into fat slobs and float around like Wally.
Yep. And I brought up Tesla a little earlier ago, and Elon Musk, and the Cybertruck's probably the most radical vehicle design that we're supposed to take seriously in a very long time. Like, most concept cars that look anything like that are hogwash, and they're just kind of to show what technology can be. This one we're meant to take seriously. We're meant to believe the Cybertruck will look like this. And if we all believe it, it will be. And so will every other car that follows. It'll start to be these strange, sharp lines and very, artistic interpretation of vehicles we're going to start seeing, and things will begin to look like Tron just because we allow it to happen that way.
Oh yeah, it's going to be like the new weirdest thing. It's like the Roaring 20s, bro. We're bringing it back.
Yep.
Just don't take away the alcohol. Holy shit.
Oh man.
Terrible idea, everybody. Absolutely terrible.
I forgot we were talking to other people. These damn technology eavesdroppers.
You get stuck in the moment.
Yeah.
It's
Not
like-
this moment though. It'll be the later moment. It'll be a later moment.
Yeah, definitely.
See, you're stuck in your moment, but we were in a fleeting one.
Yeah, now we probably brought them out of their own moment. They realize that they've been just sitting still in traffic for like the last 30 minutes and haven't even moved because they're thinking about all the crazy shit.
They're looking at their screen, contemplating turning the show off because it's gone over too long.
Yeah, they're just screaming straight into the void. They don't know how to process what the fuck we just talked about.
What is going on?
Everything is fake.
I can't confirm or deny that, huh?
No, but you can, listener. So if this happened to you, please email me at bakedcatstudio@gmail.com because I would love to hear about this. Or you could just message me on Instagram or Facebook or the YouTube comments. Whatever way. If you lost your mind from this, let me hear that story.
We don't know where your mind is, though. Don't ask. We haven't found it for you.
No. I'm not trying to, honestly.
Yeah, I think I saw a mind on the road back in the path.
All right.
Yep, that's it, Bo.
That is it. And we were at the right time. Thank you, Josh.
Thanks for having me on, man. It was nice to ramble with you.
I know. It was so wild. This is the first one I've ever just like hit record and then we
just
talked
went.
the entire time.
It's easy going.
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, dude. Thanks, man.
All right. Hey, everyone. If you're looking for anything, actually, do you want to plug yourself? You want to?
Sure. So my name's Josh Jarman, by the way.
I did give you a shout out.
Did you?
Yeah, on the last episode, one with Wade and Exploring for the Soul, there's a break in between. I'm like, oh, hey, I'm going to just shout out Wingsback. He's sponsoring this episode.
Hell yeah. Thanks, man.
So now that we can actually know who you are, go for it.
I will. My name's Josh Jarman. I'm a singer-songwriter known in the Somerville area for bringing creative works around, but lately I've been involved with helping others who hope to do the same hit the ground running and get their recordings going, things like that, under the guise Wingsback Entertainment. Got to know Caleb. He does a lot of work on my visual arts things and like CDs and stuff like that. But I also have a podcast called Wings Weekly. If you want to check that out on Spotify and all that, we talk to local musicians in the Low Country, the Somerville, Charleston area. So that'd be nice.
Well done, dude.
Thanks.
All right, I'm going to do the social media here right now. So you know where you can find us. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We got a website. Come on, guys. There's plenty of ways to find us. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Just type in Baked Cat Studio. If you're looking for our email, bakedcatstudio@gmail.com. We got Twitter's Baked Cat Studio 1. And if you're looking for anything like I said related, we're using all those social platforms. So you should see a lot of stuff there. Or you can go to the website page. So you just go to the website and click on like I said. And have all of the upcoming guests and previous episodes and a picture. And it's real pretty. So like and follow and subscribe and maybe leave a comment or something. That'd be pretty cool. And bye.